Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Lepre, King Michael. This is legit paranormal news. I have to say something really quick. That was too happy for me to compete with. I made makes me feel like I'm sad. I am King Michael,
I'm Dreamy David Barr.
Sin Shrader Hill author.
Machine Mandy.
and this is the legit paranormal news. David, the top story. Well, wait, before you do, just want to take a little time here. Stupid facts for you. Okay, and these are real, and you can look them up. So, it was King Louis the 14th. Had a what's called it scientifically anal fistula, which is a small tunnel that develops between the end of the bowel and the skin near the anus. So it was okay, right? Uh, to perform the surgery needed, he had surgeons try it out on other people to try to see if they can get it right. And people were killed. And then what happens? It becomes a fashion statement of the elite. They all get, and I'm being dead serious, it's anal fistula. Not making that up. Look it up. It scared the crap out of me. And I don't mean it that way as a joke. Hold it back. I'm being serious. All right. Casting for Quentin Tarantino's movie Jackie Brown was done by Jackie Brown. Casting for Lee Daniels the Butler was done by Leah Daniels Butler. Annual U.S. pumpkin productions weight equals 12.8 billion Charleston chews. Jurassic Park author Michael Crichton is taller than Michael Jordan. Let's see. Harold Bluetooth was a famous Scandinavian king, something like that. But that's where the term Bluetooth technology comes from. It was named in his honor. The guy from Intel said something about him being like a guy who brought people together, and that how Bluetooth was going to make it easy to bring things together, whatever. They named it after Harold the Bluetooth. He had a Bluetooth, Dave. The great Nippolini once pulled 1,000-kilogram vehicle 20 meters by his nipples.
Oh,
The great Nippolini. Let's see. Here's the last two I'll give you. Elvis won 3 Grammys. Anybody want to guess what they were for? Anybody? Dave, you're in the Matrix. You probably could just reach back and get the answer. All right. He won none for rock and roll. 0. He won 2 for inspirational performance and 1 for best sacred performance. Don't know what that means. I never even heard of that category.
Because some of his stuff was considered gospel.
yep.
Yeah, no, I know he did. That's kind of towards the more towards the end. But what I'm saying is, none for rock and roll. Like that was weird. All right, last one.
That is weird.
Barry Manilow wrote the Band-Aid song. You know, I'm stuck on. It's Band-Aid stuck on me. Whatever that old school whatever. And he wrote State Farm's Like a Good Neighbor.
Wow.
I don't. There's one last one I want to leave you with, Dave. It was where is it? Oh, no, that wasn't. No. Actually, nothing, Dave. Nothing. Over to you.
The great Nippolini should have been in the Jim Rose Circus freak show sideshow thing. I remember Mr. Lifto. He used to have chains going to his nipple rings, and he would lift up like a cinder block.
Makes my heart just thinking about it. Jeez.
I checked out the Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
because it's a real guy. I made sure he was a real guy. I followed this up. Everything I followed up, right?
yeah.
And mentioned that he retired. And I'm thinking to myself, is that what he did? Does anyone here think he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna retire. I'm good now. I'm good. No, something happened. He had to quit, is what I should have said. Whatever. I digress. Dave, go ahead.
I got a little bit of a rant, and then I'm going to follow up with a couple quick things from last week. So, I sign on and I have all these things that come through my feed, and because I search paranormal and UFOs and UAPs and near-death experiences and stuff, my feed gets loaded with that. I'm tired of like clickbait titles. It pisses me off to no end. So I came across one that said, "Hidden structures discovered deep beneath the dark side of the moon." That sounds interesting. I know, India just landed on the moon. China's been going to the moon. We've been there. Russia's been there.
The Grand Canyon, which is the size of Rhode Island, has like hidden caves that they're discovering stuff.
So
They found something Egyptian there, which would make no sense,
yeah,
but it was. So now they're gonna have to make it make sense, which is gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
they have to-
It'd be fun to see how they rewrite that history and figure that out.
exactly. Right. And then I click on the article, and it's just how like asteroid impacts have created craters and the different layers of the moon's crust and those structures. And I'm just like, that's ridiculous. I want that like 3 minutes of my life back. So if you write clickbait titles like that, piss off. I've had
It's like
enough.
so you don't like bad cheeseburgers, basically, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Like you're saying, like I'm gonna have a cheeseburger, but if I'm gonna have it, I want it to be a good one. And you're clicking on stuff you shouldn't be clicking on in the first place, David. You're in the matrix. Please, stop clicking that stuff.
I guess I'm not the one.
Or one of the ones you might be. I don't know.
All right, so I want to follow up on a story that you introduced to us, I believe, last week there, Mike, the alien reveal in Mexico to the Mexican governments.
Mm-hmm.
So scientists, I'm going to say alleged scientists, because some people crap. Alleged scientists in Mexico have given their verdict on these supposed aliens. Of course, it's controversial. Jamie Mousin was the guy who presented these mummified beings that were found in Peru. It's looks like a hoax to me. Actually, on a side note, there have been some awesome memes with those things.
Yeah. So, a hoax created by who, and what would be the reasoning? Like, in other words, why would the Mexican government just one day? Did they plan to do a hoax day? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like what was the point of one day of a hoax? Like, with these little figures? Like, help me here. Like, why was it done? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, why was it wheeled out and presented as real news when it was going to be this?
Apparently, this guy did something similar in 2017, and he's known for like plundering different parts of different things and piecing them together and claiming that they're aliens. So he did the same thing in 2017, apparently.
We don't keep records. Like, guy comes around again. Hey, same guy. Remember what he did last time? Come on.
I feel like the kid from The Simpsons should come on the screen and be like,
Yeah,
like got you again,
Ridiculous.
My favorite meme to come out of all this, though, have you guys ever seen this show, Is It Cake? I believe it's on Netflix, and the host presents a bunch of objects on a stage, and the contestants have to guess whether it's real, or they have to pick the one that's cake. So, like, a bunch of them are real objects, one of them's cake.
Stop it. Stop. You do not watch a show, right? That's actually real. That's the basic gist of it is you have to look at three things and figure out which one's a cake.
That's part of it. My daughter.
I don't know.
No. My daughter watches this. So
God.
she loves this show because she thinks it's hilarious. And then the people have to like bake something to make it look real, and then whoever fools the most people wins whatever.
Sin.
What? Yeah.
Sin. Did you ever think that it would be like tricking people about whether or not it's cake? Like that would be like that's a
Hey.
big thing.
I'm going to look for that show because I'm a cake person. I am a cake person. But you know, some of those artists out there, the cake decorators now, they are unreal in some of the things that they create. So I can see it going to that.
I'm not. No, pie is better than cake. I've always been of that opinion. It's ridiculous. It's not even like it's not even a conversation. Cake is sweet, or it's just not good, right? But pie is always pie. Like, you know what I mean? It's pie.
So if we're all ever together and you don't want your piece of cake, we will split it.
Yes.
That's not a problem. Yeah, it's not a problem.
I'll take one for the team, Mike. I'll pound that piece of cake.
The one I saw the most was they pretended that those things were chocolate bunnies.
What?
There was another one that showed
Did you see that meme?
Like spirit Halloween decorations. But this one, so it says, "Is it cake?" And then they've sliced a piece out of one of the aliens' heads to reveal that it is cake.
Wow.
It's pretty hilarious. If you've seen the show, it's just funny.
So wait, there's an episode where a cake of an alien gets his head cut.
No. Someone made a meme of these Mexican aliens.
Oh, all right,
and it looked like they cut a piece out of it and said, "Is it cake?" And then, yes, it's cake.
Yeah. So,
well, somebody's going to do that too now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You realize that that's an age thing right there, Dave. You just made me feel old because I never seen that meme. I wouldn't go looking for it. I wish I would have saw it, but I don't look for them, I guess.
Well, it was embedded in this story that I found, so that's how I saw it. And they're all over Facebook.
And you are in the Matrix. What I'm saying,
I am in the Matrix.
What I'm saying is, I didn't get. Mandy, did you understand the first part? Did you ever hear about the first part? Did you follow him completely, or did he use terminology like you were like? I don't know.
I didn't follow him completely. He kind of went all over there.
You're younger than us, David, and you just showed it right there.
I'm like 2 years younger than you, Mike.
Oh.
And I'm older than Mandy. Mandy, I'm older than you.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Am I the youngest?
Yes, you are.
Oh,
You're
boy.
the baby.
So
no one's trying to help me here with this, but go ahead, Dave.
Despite these funny memes that are flying all over the place, the Book of Face, Google, and all that stuff, some people are taking these aliens seriously enough that they're allegedly being studied, and they're saying these figures are single skeletons and they have eggs inside of them.
What?
Here's the kicker. They've given these aliens names.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So wait a minute.
Clara
Wait.
and Mauricio.
I wanted to guess.
I did
I'm
too.
sorry,
I wanted
Mike.
to guess. I wanted to guess too.
I apologize.
Can we guess the second one?
I said the second one. It's Mauricio.
First one was Clara.
Clara and Mauricio.
Clara?
So supposedly they've been studied at a lab at the NOR clinic in Mexico. And bear with me, there's a lead researcher, Dr. Jose de Jesus Zalce Benitez.
Say that again, Dave.
Dr. Jose de Jesus Zalce Benitez.
All right, Sin, you do it now.
I'd have to read it.
There's no way I can do it.
Mr.
Don't have me do it.
Senor Bonitas. We just go with that.
We're close.
So-
Close.
By
By the way,
you need like 5 names.
what? But that's fine when they keep the heritage keep going like that. Italians, we don't want to do that. The less on the license, the better. But wait. Why was it a boy and a girl like Raggedy Ann and Andy? Like, why do they have to go Clara and then like Mauricio? Like,
I don't know.
they gave the girl a cute name and they gave the guy like some like what were those old Harlequins? Those novels. It's like the guy that did the butter thing. They got hit in the face by the bird on the roller coaster. The blonde guy, Fabio.
Yeah.
Fabio.
Should have been Clara and Fabio. I like Fabio though. He was pretty funny. He was really awkward. If you ever watch them, like actually try to talk to people. You know what I mean? He was like handsome to the point of it was too much handsome. Like he was actually too handsome. It didn't work. You know what I mean? He had to pull it back. He was literally like too much cartoonish, like a figure. Not on your level of handsome, Dave. I'm just saying how handsome he is. That's all I'm saying.
It's all the Matrix. You know, I kind of configured how I look.
What else about
How I
these
present
things?
myself. So Dr. Jose de Jesus Zalce Benitez, he's a former Navy forensics doctor. He added that as well as being a single skeleton, the aliens are also a complete organic being, whatever that means. He denies that the aliens are part of a hoax, and he said that Clara was alive, was intact, was biological, and was in gestation. So yeah, there you have it.
Wait, she's in gestation?
Was in gestation. So she must be the one who had the eggs.
Yep. Clara.
No. First off, I'm not a scientist. This is obvious. But I do not believe there could be eggs in those bodies still there.
Fossilized.
No, the body would die. It wouldn't fossilize around the egg. It would probably
Think
end
about
up eating.
Pompeii. The lava. I mean, instant. Why not?
No. I don't buy it. I don't buy the egg's ability to sustain as long as the body that decomposed. None of it makes sense, Dave. Like
No,
it doesn't
it
make any sense. Eggs, they're naming them like what it, but it was broadcast by the Mexican government. This I'm not
No, I know.
Viva la Mexico. I'm just saying. They did broadcast it as if it was news.
Right. So just like the aliens are controversial, so is this alleged research. There's a lot of skepticism, and NASA scientist Dr. David Spergel, he's questioning why their findings haven't made public. He's like, if you have something strange, make it available to the scientific community. Let us examine what's there. They haven't done this yet.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So they keep talking about how we've never got any real evidence. So they'll always say that, right? And they just keep saying, or then they keep saying that this is evidence, and it's like junk like this, so that it makes the whole people that have evidence look stupid, right? The evidence to me that I can't believe people let go by, and maybe it's because I'm who I am, is the one in Las Vegas, was it, or Los Angeles, where the spaceship landed and the people's and the kid called.
I think it's Vegas. Yeah.
All right, Vegas. All right. Let me tell you something. When the other police officer comes up to the first police officer on the scene, that body cam footage they have, the look on the guy's face, the officers, and the way they shut off the body cams before they went into the backyard, like the police just don't do that. They don't ever shut off the body cam. It's actually you can't, right? But they did. That's the most telling thing I've seen so far as evidence. Like they saw something too that freaked them out so bad that and then, like I told you, the biggest lie was when they said that they couldn't show what was in the backyard because it was private property. Right. But they were on the front yard and in the driveway filming there, which by my math, the front yard and the backyard are the yard. Mm-hmm. So one can't be private unless I put up private signs and I tell you not to go back there and show it, which why would those people say that? They'd want to prove that what they just saw was real, but it gets spun where they can't, and that thing gets shut off like that. Like, it's like, don't look for the proof, look more for the cover-up. Does that make any sense?
Yep. Yeah.
Man, you get that?
Yeah.
What do you think of that, though? Did you see that footage I'm talking about where they...
Yeah.
What do you think?
You're talking about where they said they had seen those things in the backyard?
They were big and they made the backyard blurry.
Yeah. I agree with you, what you're saying. It's kind of like in the paranormal field. Don't assume everything's paranormal right away, So kind of same thing here. Don't just assume that it's actually what they're saying it is, make sure it ain't a cover-up, like you said.
Well, the thing is, I'm afraid it is what they're saying it is. And they don't want us to see what these kids saw. Like, my biggest fear is that these kids saw something, and they weren't lying, because it scared the daylights out of the police officers. It did. They shut off the body cam, so it's like something. There was something back there that was either a light show or something that was scaring everybody. Right? At the very least, those kids put on a prank. At the very least, you'd show that though. You'd immediately show that because you'd go be like, "Hey, they did a prank. It's over."
But wasn't there another? Didn't they see something before that was called in? Pretty sure the cops had seen something prior to that.
They saw something come flying out of the sky. Yeah, one of the cops on his body cam saw like a
Yes,
like a
his
meteor.
body cam did capture that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then they showed up at a house that reported that there was the ship back there, and there was like one of the, like I said, the first officer was on scene, and when the second officer comes up to him, like you just see the look on their face, like I don't know what to tell you. Like it was literally the look of like I don't know what to tell you. Like what I just saw, I'm not gonna explain to you. And then he made him shut off his body cam, and then they blocked off, like I said, just the backyard as private property. Which, Sin, I know you're not a lawyer, but does that make sense?
No, none of it does. It's all cover up.
Dave?
If they did try to say what they saw, they'd probably be placed on leave for like mental issues and quieted up that way.
So you get the bullshit, and then you have when something is presented as bullshit, but it there's a weirdness about it because it's a cover up. They're not telling you something for a reason. And this stuff with the bodies makes that other stuff look weaker. You know what I'm trying to say? Like the more really bad stuff like this that you make on a big level, like this wasn't like some guy doing it on like one of the Book of Face just to get reactions or whatever. It wasn't a TikTok video. This was like the Mexican government released this to the news outlets. Like, there's a difference.
Yeah.
We do the news. This is the news. Like you don't. Does it make any sense?
Big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal.
I don't know. I you know what? People are called conspiracy theorists, and I think that's weird because I believe some things.
I do too.
There's a couple I believe.
Did a show.
I don't believe in everything.
We did a new show on conspiracy theories that turned out to be true, and there were like at least 25 of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. I actually got into an argument once with someone online who said, "Name me one conspiracy theory that was actually true," and I was just like, can't believe we're having this conversation. You know what I mean? Like that's ridiculous. You don't end up in a conversation with somebody and you realize, oh no, they might be really dumb, and you're like, oh no. How do I handle the dumb person in a nice way and get on my way? You know what I mean? That's literally what it comes to sometimes. It's Dave, it's hard, right? When you're talking to me, it's hard to talk to me, right? I can hear it in your voice. I can hear
comment.
It. All right. Is it any more, Dave?
Yeah, Dr. Benitez. I'm not going to say all 5 names again, but the article referred to him as Benitez. He did address at a press conference, he's quoted as saying, "We are facing the paradigm of describing a new species or given the opportunity to accept that there has been contact with other beings, non-humans, that were drawn and marked in the past by diverse cultures throughout the world." So like that part I kind of agree with, but what they presented us, I don't. Critics are saying that these alien beings are made from various body parts that they, picked apart and then manipulated them and put them together to create these little doll-looking things. And again, Malsan, this guy who supposedly discovered these things, he's been known for creating hoaxes, and his stuff's been debunked. He's done similar things in the past. So that kind of shreds his credibility for me.
Yeah, but now I'm at a point where I can argue either side of just about any news that comes out, and I don't believe in anything because it's all just junk. Like this is ruining how people see things and how they're reacting to things changing, and how little effort is being given. It's like watching your house slide down like a hill of mud. and you don't even try to like pull it back. It's become. I'm sorry. I went from Barry Manilow to depressing, which it shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. Dave, back to you.
That's it. That's what I got for that story, Mike.
All right. Sin, you want to go next?
Sure. So I've got the top 10 paranormal myths. Paranormal facts exist is number one. Paranormal facts exist. So, of course, that's a myth because paranormal applies to anything currently beyond the range of scientific explanation. Plenty of researchers, including reputable scientists, have compelling theories about unexplained phenomena and are attempting to apply those utilizing scientific methods, but so far, paranormal facts do not quite exist.
All right, wait, but start again at the beginning of that sentence. Read that again for a second. Just the beginning.
Plenty of researchers, that one?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
No, yeah, about saying that it doesn't exist, the whole scientific. Give me the beginning for a second.
All right. So, plenty of researchers, including reputable scientists, have compelling theories about unexplained phenomena.
Unexplained.
And are attempting to apply those utilizing scientific methods.
All right, so stop. So scientists who only work in the world of science are saying that things that are unexplained don't really exist. And how would they be able to test these things if they are only in the scientific world?
But that's what it's saying.
You already agree there's things that are unexplained. So you want to test them with scientific stuff? But there's
some scientists that are trying to prove some of the theories. So you've got
some of the theories, just not all of the theories, right? Like,
right.
Dave, you know what I'm saying right here? Like, there's a difference. Isn't there not a difference?
I just like paranormal means outside the normal. That's why they use that term. So they are acknowledging that there are things that they can't explain. You know, and like Sin was saying, there are some scientists who are striving to explain those things and create new technologies and things like that. So
that was nice of you.
Hopefully we get some answers as technology improves. Yeah.
All right, Sin, back to you.
All right. The second one is the one I bring up a lot. I have this asked a lot. Ghosts only come out at night. No, they don't. It's
wait. What's the percentage? I bet it's mostly at night.
I don't know the percentage, but
I want the over-under.
Percentages pulled for next week. Maybe we'll find that out next week.
Yeah, because I'm willing to bet you that ghost sightings it's at least 80% nighttime. Like I know it's not all the time, but
on sightings,
most of the time.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Nighttime.
Because
is that based on expectation though? Because people have this belief and this expectation that these things tend to happen more at night. Like the veil is thinnest, you know, at such and such a time. Some people say midnight. Some people say 3 or 4 a.m. Like for me, I don't believe in that. I think the veil is always thin, and I think there's opportunity to witness these things anytime. I just think people have these limiting beliefs around that stuff.
Really quick, these people, there's this thing called alcohol, and the nighttime becomes a totally different time by people, by groups, by everything. So the nighttime is always been when things have been at the most, let's say, evil,
spooky,
so to speak, right? Yeah, just, you know. And the daytime's supposed to be, you know, the sun comes up, everybody's happy, puppets are dancing, like that kind of stuff. So I'm just saying it's kind of a good and bad thing. That's all. Sin?
Okay. Well, it does say that some locations only let you enter at night. So there is that fact. And then everything, of course, is creepier. Best time to play with night vision, of course. So most investigations are done at night. And when you think about it, what I tell people is when you think about it, when you go into a night investigations, the rest of your senses are heightened because you've got all the stimuli of the everyday world. It's the daylight is gone, so you don't see, you know, all this stuff around you as much. You can focus more on the dark.
Question though, you said that the nighttime goggles the best time to use them is at night. Isn't that the only time?
I would think so. Yes.
It's not just the best time. Not the best time to use night vision goggles is at night. It's the only time you're going to want to wear night vision goggles is at night. Let's go with that.
Yes.
We're the news. We're the news. We got to have credibility. Dave, you said it in the meeting. Credibility. I'm with it. All right.
I'm merely reading. Okay.
Right.
So number 3, this was interesting to me. There is no physical evidence of Bigfoot.
I know this.
There are no bodies that have been found.
Mhm.
Bigfoot researchers claim there's quite a bit of physical evidence to suggest creatures exist, such as hair, blood, tissue, tracks, and even poop.
So, they're really quick. Their biggest. I went to a convention in 2021, something like that. The biggest piece of evidence for real that they found is hair that they can't match to any other animal. That to me is the biggest piece of Bigfoot information in my book. Like, it's hair that they can't say that it's from this, it's from
Something
that.
else, yeah.
Mhm.
That's because other than that, they don't really have much other than like prints, like like it's. But I tell you what, Bigfoot people believe in
Yes.
Bigfoot.
Yes.
There was- Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You talk.
I was just going to say there's a video that's out reported that a man had actually shot a Bigfoot and kept him frozen for many
What?
years. Yeah, I think it's on YouTube. It's been out there for a while. It's pretty interesting. I mean, it could be, probably fake, most likely, but it looks really creepy.
You know why it's fake? Do you know what? I can tell you why it's fake. I don't even have to watch it. I'll be honest. He kept it in the freezer. So I killed Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to show somebody. I'm not going to have it hanging. I'm not going to take the Jaws photo with me standing next to the Bigfoot. There's going to be like I'm not going to take credit for killing Bigfoot. I'm going to hide him in a freezer. Does that even make
think
sense?
he eventually did, though, reported it to someone. I can't quite remember how that story went, but I'm pretty sure that he ended up showing someone, what he had found. Or
but in
the
the
story
freezer.
went, it was passed down from his family. I think maybe it was his father. It's something like that. I just know that it was in the family. They had it for years. They claimed to have shot it in the face. They took it back. They kept it on ice, and for many, many years.
So it was like his inheritance. They passed it down.
Something like that.
That's kind of sad.
These people sound like they would try to sell the Brooklyn Bridge.
Were they from Tennessee?
I can't remember. I just remember seeing it and hearing about it, and
That's no offense. That's ridiculous. No, it really is.
well,
Come
you would
on.
think if someone had shot a Bigfoot, you would, you're gonna report it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's going to be all over every paper, every news station. It's going to be all over the world, right?
I don't
or
want.
maybe they didn't want that. Maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want something like that to
So
all that publicity. I don't know.
They're serial killers then. So they're closet serial killers. They're
They
trying
didn't
to
want
keep something
celebrity.
underground.
They didn't want celebrity. They were like that part of the boy band that quits first. Like they just wanted out. They didn't want part of this. That's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous story. I got to be honest. It is. You don't keep it in the freezer.
I just had to bring it up because he
That's
was
fine.
talking about it.
He should have ended up stuffed like that guy Sin talked about a couple weeks
Oh
ago.
yes,
That
yeah.
poor-
Traveling all around, ended up in different scenarios.
That poor
Painted,
bastard.
painted neon. Oh,
Yes.
bless it.
What a way to go.
Bless-
That was a depressing story. Go get it.
Number 4. So only old buildings are haunted. No. It says that, of course, we've got people saying there's evidence in jails, asylums, hospitals, hotels, museums, battleships, cruise liners, cars, roads, and forests, among other things. New locations can also be haunted, as can the ground where a new building is established. There doesn't necessarily have to be a death involved. And it's widely accepted that in the paranormal community that objects and people themselves can be the focus of a haunting.
Really quick, isn't the easy answer for this always going to be the land upon which it was built?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, don't we
Yeah.
ever just cut to the chase and we're just like, look, I don't care about the house. I don't care about the person that's there. What is this built on? Like, what was here originally, for real? Like, let me know for the real truth what was built here, because that's usually the root of every one of these issues. So, new building, old building, but what's the land, right? That's it. Yeah.
I think that's got a lot to do with it. Yes.
I agree.
I shouldn't be making so much common sense. It's
Are
not
you
good
getting
for
a
everybody
headache?
else. No.
Okay, I'm going to read the 5th one and then hold the next 5 for next week. So,
All right.
number 5, America's paranormal fascination is new. And they're talking about with all the ghost hunting shows. And it started back in the mid 19th and early 20th centuries with the movement of spiritualism. And Mary Todd Lincoln, Mark Twain, and Harry Houdini were 3 celebrities that actually believed in the spiritualist movement and were considered spiritualists.
What about Abbott and Costello?
Well, they were probably added on later.
They did the Frankenstein. Listen. Abbott and Costello was doing a multiverse, right? Before Marvel and DC. They had Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and I forget who else on one movie.
I think the Mummy.
And the Mummy.
Yeah.
Bang. Dave, that's like getting, you know what I mean? Robert Downey Jr., you know what I mean? The kid Chris, whatever, who plays Hemsworth, Thor, get me Captain America. Like, come on, that's an easy kid.
Yeah, but they're talking about older.
Well, Abraham Lincoln's wife was said to have been very spiritual too. She actually was she had someone coming to her place and was trying to contact their son.
I'm just having a hard time with the fact that I Abbott and Costello started the multiverse before Marvel and DC. And Dave, you know that's true. As dumb as that sounds, they did. They're the first ones to have all the characters in one movie like that. Like, come on, Abbott and Costello. My papa, who's my mom's dad, he used to go to the track. It was horses back in the day in Lincoln. And Lou Costello used to come down from New York because, well, the patriarchies were here, and so they would place bets. And my papa got to know him. He said he was like really loud all the time, really drunk, and always paying for people's drinks. And that made total sense if you've ever seen Abbott and Costello. Anyway, I digress. I loved Abbott and Costello because them and the Creature double feature would come on, and it would be like, oh, Channel 56 is barely coming in. It was this channel out of Boston. When it came in, they showed these really old school horror movies. Those I watched. You know what I mean? Godzilla. Dave, anything with Godzilla in it, I'm in.
Oh, yeah. My dad and I used to watch those every Saturday afternoon.
I'm in.
Or like Creature from the Black Lagoon, they would show. Stuff like that. Yeah.
You ever see Swamp Thing from the 80s?
Yeah.
They're making Swamp Thing again, by the way.
I know. Well, they made a TV series out of it. It was supposed to be awesome. I haven't seen it because it got canceled.
Yeah. Swamp Thing. But yeah. I mean, whatever. This makes sense. Go ahead.
So the last part of this paragraph is loaded. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay. Teddy Roosevelt, before he was president, wrote about a frontiersman's encounter with a Bigfoot-like creature in 1893. And other Sasquatch stories made their way into the news. Long after the Battle of Los Angeles in 42 or Roswell incident in 47, airships were reported in the skies above America. S.E. Hayden wrote about the crash of such a ship in Aurora, Texas in 1897, about 6 years before the Wright brothers' first flight.
Yeah, can I stop you though on Roosevelt? Who was the first person you mentioned?
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, right?
Yeah.
So Roosevelt saw something in the woods.
He wrote about it.
Yeah, he wrote about it. But what did he describe it as?
And it was a frontiersman's encounter because he was a
Yep.
frontiersman, right?
All right,
So
all
it
right.
was an encounter with a Bigfoot-like creature.
Bigfoot-like creature. That's all he says?
Yep.
So something really tall and shocking came out of the woods, and this could be what he claims to be Bigfoot. Plus, I'm willing to bet you Roosevelt was a bit of a you know what. And his description of things might be not quite the correct way to describe them, and they would not like it. And he would, it would look bad. So a Bigfoot-like creature to him, how big was Roosevelt? Like
He was a
5'5".
big guy, wasn't he?
5'5". Look at his height. Find his
Oh,
height.
is he-
I'm 5'5". I'm short.
No, yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. If you're Teddy Roosevelt, how big are you? You know what I mean? Like, so
How
he's a
big a boy
Bigfoot-like
are you?
creature. So like, look, if I like, that's not even that's such a vague. It's Dave. You're in the Matrix. Lean back and get some vague terminology, right? Because that's what everyone uses. The whole misconception of like how to I'm gonna jingle keys here, and then this is actually the real stuff. Like let's. Can you just put your head in there for a little while?
Wait, so how long does the term Bigfoot go back then? If he's saying it was a Bigfoot-like creature,
right?
Like, when was that term coined? Bigfoot.
Right. That's what we need to know. We need to know this.
Mandy, how good are you when it comes to bullshit? Can you see it coming? Like how good is your meter?
Yeah, sometimes I can. I want to say this guy probably seen somebody was maybe bigger than him. I don't know, something weird looking to him. I don't know, and just never heard of them seeing anything like that back in those days. I mean, that was like later on when people started seeing these sightings. Not to say that there weren't reports, and I just don't know, but I don't know. Or he was drinking. I don't know.
That's my whole point. See, you know what's funny is, she knows what she wants to say, but she's polite about it, and she's gonna spin it in the most polite way she can. And if she pauses, she really is thinking, all right, how do I not say this in a really mean way? But I'm starting to, Dave, if you reach into the Matrix, you'll understand what she just said. Right?
Right.
You know what I mean? But anyways, the Matrix is I'm loving it. It's ridiculous. Back to who was next. Where was I at? Where were we at with that one? Sim, we still with you? All right,
Yeah,
done.
we're done.
Mandy, you're up.
All right. I want to talk about the Randolph County Asylum, located in Rochester, Indiana. This place was owned by an older couple. They purchased it in the early 1800s. And in 1851, it became known as the poorhouse. So what they did, they ended up taking in anybody who didn't have a place
Poorhouse?
to live.
Wait, the poorhouse?
They ended up calling it the poorhouse back in those days.
Yep.
Huge location. I think it's over 50,000 square feet. It's huge.
All right.
But they took in a bunch of people who were basically poor or mentally challenged or just anything. But what they did, they took them in and had them work on the farm if they were able. They even took in children too. But it caught on fire. I think it was in 1851. So they ended up remodeling and then added on to the place, making it even bigger. It eventually became kind of like a nursing home because they ended up taking on a lot of older people. And, back in those days, husbands could turn their wives in if they were to say anything crazy over the menstrual periods. Back then women would get a little crazy and their husbands.
Whoa, time out.
Oh, they did.
All right, no. First off, I don't believe that. That's nonsense. That never happens around this house. Now, you're saying there was at one point a clause in actual marriages where you could turn your wife in?
Yes.
Yes. Really?
Yes. Because this happened to a lady here at the location.
What year was this, Mandy?
This would have been when it became eventually it became, the nursing home was probably between 1851 going into the 1900s.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
so wait a minute. Wait, I can't get past this point. So, just turning in your wife right
Yes.
now. If she says something crazy, that, no offense, that's like turning in your husband. If he says something mean, gonna happen. Gonna happen. In your opinion, it's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna think it's mean. I'm gonna think it's crazy. No matter what you think, that's just how we work, right? It's gonna happen. That's an easy clause. It's an easy clause. And then you say, "I'm going. Oh, that's crazy." Handing you in. Now, worst part is, I bet you there's guys that took advantage of that clause, and they would just
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
"Hey, oh, it's like new jeans." Like, that's an awful thought that you could just go, "Hey, by the way, pack your stuff. I'm giving you back."
Well, and also there was reports of, if the man was cheating and the woman was accusing him, they would turn her into the places like this, and say she was.
Can I interject just
Go
one
ahead.
little tiny thing? So you have got to believe her, Mike, because down here in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, the old hospital here in the county had a staycation area. Staycation. So if a woman was having a hard time, or her husband,
Oh, we could just put her there.
yeah, or she needed a break from him, her doctor would write a prescription for her to go stay a week in the old hospital and get some happy pills.
Yeah.
Until that happened up until I know the 60s and 70s, because one of my childhood classmates' mothers went.
So,
Hmm.
men,
Yeah.
we've been keeping women drugged up, shut up, and been mean, basically. So,
Well, this woman that went wanted to get away from her husband, so she was, she was in charge of that one.
yeah, but still, that's a scary sounding place. Like, there's some creepy,
it was
people, sport type people.
It was everywhere.
Yeah, they were doing this everywhere, just about, these hospitals, asylums, and yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Dave's a great married guy.
Yeah.
He hasn't budged once with it.
He hasn't spoken up.
He's not taking the bait. If it was a cupcake
like,
in his face right now, he's like, no, not gonna say it, not gonna say anything. He's got a million jokes probably too going through his head like this, and he can't say a single one.
He wants to.
I will say, I took a psychology class in college, and this whole thing isn't new. Like, there are cultural beliefs where they thought that a woman's period blood could kill a man, and when a woman was menstruating, they had like a hut away from the village that they had to go to, and all that.
Look at Mike.
No, it's not that I'm laughing at what happened. I'm laughing at how stupid the reasoning is on these things. Like, it's just, wow. Like, wow. Come on. Like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? Wow. That's power is what is that thing about power? If you want to, Abraham Lincoln said it. If you truly want to test a man, give him power. Because look what it does to people. Like, they just go like this. It's stupid. It all sounds so stupid to me. I digress. Manny, what else about your location?
Well, there were 16 tenants that actually had reside here at this location, but they also took in, they had jail cells there. So they housed inmates. And there's a story that these two guys, real mean bad guys, and they actually ended up pushing this 80-year-old man out of his window. He fell to his death, 2 stories, dead on the scene. These guys just, for no reason at all, just pushed him out the window. He would like to get, the guy liked to sit on the ledge and kind of just stare, out the window. And these guys, for no reason, just pushed him out. That is a true story right there.
All right. I'm sorry. I can't buy no reason at all. there has to be some reason in their head for why they ran in and shoved somebody over a wall 2 flights down. Whether it was just instant, like simultaneous stupidity, where they both like, let's just go shove somebody over a wall, or it was
They were mentally, they definitely had something going on because, they, like I said, they would take in these people, criminals and people who didn't have a place to live. And also people who were sick. There was, tuberculosis had been running through there at that time too. So they were housing all these different types of people that had these things going on, all these challenges.
Did they have a pool?
No. No, but there is a unmarked graveyard on this property that there's said to have been over 200 deaths that had occurred at this location. I have actually investigated this place probably 6 or 7 times. I have spent the night there. I have captured some amazing EVPs. I have heard things that would just scare you to death. Things that I cannot explain that was going on. I mean, this place is really active. There is some stuff going on here. And I'm wearing their shirt. So this is the Randolph Asylum shirt.
Randolph Asylum.
The Randolph Asylum.
And on social media, just look up what? Randolph Asylum?
You would look up the Randolph County Asylum on Facebook if you want to book an investigation there. But there's been reports of the doors slamming. There's been apparitions seen there multiple times. Disembodied footsteps, sounds of children talking and laughing. There's a tricycle up in the attic reported to roll across the floor by itself. I've been in this attic. It is very active up there.
Mandy, you realize though that right now you're telling stories of what's it called again? The Randolph.
It's the Randolph County Asylum.
The Randolph County Asylum, right? You're telling us all
which is the original farmhouse.
No, that's not my point. My point is you're like the guy who wears the band shirt to the concert. Like you're giving us all the reasons why it's believable wearing their T-shirt. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Though, like as if Dave's in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Of course, right now I'm about to hear a bunch of great things from you about this place because you're wearing the T-shirt. You're the guy who goes to the band and wears Dave. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Don't be that guy.
Really?
It's like a concert faux pas, Mandy. Like I don't know around the country, but up here it's a big thing. Like if you're going to see the band and you wear the shirt, people tend to make fun of those people.
You could wear like their old tour. Like you could wear like one of their older tours or an older album cover sometimes. Like that would be acceptable. But in general, you didn't wear the band's shirt. Usually. Like what my band did is we put numbers on the back of ours. So people would wear them out because it was fun to see all the different numbers everywhere. So that we did that on purpose. But usually, like it's true, locally you don't wear that band's thing. So you can continue. I feel like you might be slightly, your judgment might be tipped towards them because you're wearing the shirt.
I'm supporting them.
No, I know. We said their name a bunch of times. I'm hoping that's helped.
But it's a good location. It does have a history there. There was a story too of a lady who was actually dropped off there and left there by her family for I believe they thought she was a little cuckoo because of her menstrual period made her, do crazy things. And they left her there and they never came back for her. And she ended up hanging herself in one of the cells downstairs in the basement.
Who left her there?
Her family. They never came back for her.
All right. They just were like, we're going to leave an old person in that room. That's it?
They left her at the building. They never came back.
Oh, never picked up their baggage.
They never came back to get her. They just took her there and they never came back.
The old never come back trick, huh?
The old
Well played. Well played on that. That's that place is like it reminds me of like the Muppets backstage theater where there's like just every sort of like thing bopping around and moving around. Like a lot of stuff has happened there as far as like events historically, and
Yeah.
it doesn't bother you to go there.
No, I've spent the night there. It's creepy. I have actually, I've captured EVP voices. We were the first team to actually capture the little boy Noah. No one could get him to say his name, and I was talking to him, and I had a recorder going, and he gave me his name. Said it clear, very clear. Classic A EVP. He said it just like I'm talking to you. He said Noah. So it was good stuff. But
Are you
it's-
worried? Are you worried that it wasn't maybe a kid, or maybe like something evil, or you think it was a kid?
I feel it was a kid, but I do understand that these spirits can trick you. They can be tricksters. And
Especially like if it's a little kid giving you his name. That's a really
oh, you should hear the voice. He was
probably
like,
sounds like a real little kid. It doesn't always sometimes always sound too like cast like sounds just like a little boy you'd expect him to sound. Like it's so perfectly whatever that it's like, yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
it was very it was kind of creepy because he said Noah,
Yeah.
just like that. Just like that. He was like maybe 5 years old.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
That's still the scariest stuff to me, I think. That's still the scariest stuff to me right there. Just I don't like that at all. I hear seriously. I hear little kid voices like that. Yeah.
Well, we were in the jail area, and I captured a recording of a woman saying, "There's bodies on the floor, or I'm lying on the floor bleeding." Clear. I'm lying on the floor bleeding.
It's a long.
And then in the attic, I captured another EVP of a guy saying, "There's bodies deep." That's what he said. There's bodies deep.
It sounds like you're writing a grunge song from the 90s. Line by line.
Drowning pool's gonna fall.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There's bodies on the floor. I'm lying here bleeding. I can just picture it.
It was crazy, and this was the first time I had ever went to this location. My first big investigation, besides the prison in Mansfield. That was my actual first one. But for my team, this location was the first one, and we had the door downstairs slamming where they kept the. They had bodies they kept there, and when it was too crowded down there, they would put them in this freezer. Well,
as you do.
And we
with Bigfoot.
We actually got the door slammed. The door slammed shut. It was crazy. I mean, it was loud. Nobody was down in the basement. Everybody was either in the attic or in the asylum. Nobody was in that basement at that time. The door just slammed. Yeah, it was interesting.
I believe you. I believe you. I really do believe you. I just it's I don't know. I guess my biggest thing about not wanting to go on investigations is the fear that I'm gonna bump into something bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because like even on the Salem when I went that time, like I felt like someone was staring at me the whole time, and I had to stare and I had to stare back. But it was weird. Like I kept walking to like where I thought would be the scariest part of that deck. Because I figured, let's just get this over with. Let me go right to the heart of stuff. And I went in that captain's area, or the chief's area, which you're not supposed to go in. I was like in his quarters, looking in his mirror. Like, I was just like, let's see how this all works. Just kind of how I went on. I said a prayer. I went on the boat, and I just kept walking into every room to see what would happen. And I felt like I was being stared at. That's the only thing I came away with, was just this weird feeling of like, because there's like a thing when a guy's staring at you, you can feel it. Like another guy, when you catch it, there's like a moment where you lock eyes, like, and that was happening from room to room to room. And then we're near the engine room, and my wife heard a little girl's voice, like, because I heard the trailing off of something that could have been that, but where she was. And someone else was, they heard it clearly, and they got it on EVP. They recorded it. So like this little girl down near the engine room. You know what I mean? I don't know. Come on now. And they said
running around the boat.
Yeah, no, they're worried that they're actually worried. I think that it's an elemental. That is actually what I think the what they won't say, but I think that's kind of what they think, like that it is. Because I mean, like they did take on kids, like if they got like they found the boat that was wrecked or something like that. But a little girl in the engine room sounds like a bad either kids novel or like a new age like horror movie. Like it just is dumb sounding. You know what I mean? I don't buy it. I don't know. You know, anyways, I think the place you went, you have such a connection with that you guys are getting through. Whereas if like say me and Dave just rolled in there with some root beer, nothing may happen, and it's not because nothing's happening there. It's just I guess how open you are to and how like familiar it gets with you. Sleeping over, I would think, is a big deal as far as like you're technically dating once that happens.
Mike, I think I could drum up some stuff.
Listen, we have some weird things, but there was a guy who was a skeptic, right?
Yep.
He wanted to spend the night alone at this location. So he paid, and mind you, this, it's like $500 or $600 to rent this place out to investigate private. So he does this, and he goes, and he didn't even make it 2 hours, and had all kinds of weird things going on around him. And he had to call the caretaker to come and unlock the place so he could get out. Wow. They locked him in there because he wanted to be locked in. He didn't believe. He didn't believe anything was going to happen. And they said he made it 2 hours. And he said, "Get me out of here."
The spirits are like, "We'll show you."
They will. I mean, if you ever get a chance, guys, you got to check out this location, though. It is
cool. My wife and friends and I want to go to Eastern State Pen. That's on our bucket list.
Oh, yes. I've never been there. That would be. I love going to prisons or jails. Definitely.
I've been on the Queen Mary.
No, I have.
The tour guide, it was so hokey. Like the guy tried to play like a spooky.
Oh, yeah.
Like tour guide part, and he would kind of like roll his eyes in the back of his head and be like, "Oh, I don't know what that sound is," and it just made it so hokey and lame. Like if anything was there, they're probably like, just screw this guy. We're not even messing with these people. Because
see, I don't want to do tours. Now, once you do the private investigations, tours are out the door.
Well, they do have a thing where you can stay on the boat overnight, but my friend and I were visiting another friend in California. One friend wanted to get a tattoo, and my other friend and I needed something else to do, and we were near the Queen Mary, so we're like, let's go take the tour. I hear all kinds of things about this ship. But like the guide was so hokey, it just kind of ruined it for me.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
Check it out, though.
Sorry, I had to start another show. Let's just remove that. Hold on a second. I'm removing a destination. Saving it now. Yeah. Did we finish up? Are we done? Because I went in the other studio, the one that's across down the hall, and I had to start that show. It's going pretty good so far, I think. I hope. So I'm gonna do the wrap up if you guys don't mind. Is that all right, Dave?
That's fine by me.
Listen. There's a couple of lines that have been said in this show that if we clip them, we will all sound I think stupid as a group. And I'm not saying you said them. I'm just saying there's maybe things I've said that just said out loud. Some things have sound so stupid. You know?
I think you're talking about me right now too.
Not at all. No. See, that's a bad sign.
I think it's both of us, Mandy.
Don't ever think that like when someone's talking about stupid and you think it's you, that's on you. That's a bad sign. Like, don't ever think that you're stupid. Like you don't be the person standing next to the person with the t-shirt that says "I'm with stupid." Like don't go with that person. Don't go. I would never even go out of the door with someone with that shirt. And I'd be like, no, you're taking it off. No, I'm not standing next to that shirt that says "I'm with stupid." Ain't happening. So 4, Machine Mandy. 4, Sin Shrader Hill author. 4, Dreamy David Barr. It is me, Mike Leper King, Mike Yell. This was legit. Paranormal News brought to you by legitpodcast.com. Remember, it's legit podcast, DOTCOM.com, spelled out on all social media now. Thank you for watching. Go over and check out Into the Legit Darkness.